That was cool.
That was epic. Well done, Bushy.
I don't. It made me laugh even more. The time change in that now. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, now that someone from D&D has brought it up, and if
Can't
they go
help
back
but
and watch this,
noticing.
every time they hear it, it drives them insane. That's even better.
So yeah. How are we doing, guys? Good evening. I was going to say good afternoon. I suppose it's evening now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You are through to more tales from the Lost Emporium.
Emporium.
Oh, I can only just hear you, Tom. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
I'll leave and I'll come back.
Bye, bye, Tom.
Starting with technical issues. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel this is the way that all Tales from the Lost Emporium games start. And I feel we are doing it service to make sure that we carry on in our fine tradition.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, refunds are not available. The doors of the auditorium have been locked.
You've seen
no, that's right? A low-level fog, not a gas creeping in.
Very good. So yeah, it's Cthulhu night. Woo! I'll get Tom back in when he's here. He's there, look.
It works.
Happy days.
Hey! Don't know what happened then. Something very...
The mysterious gods have been appeased.
That's it. Absolutely.
The eternal tech resolved. Turn it off, turn it back on again.
Or no, all he did is he shut it down. He sacrificed a goat. You can't quite see behind him. There's a goat corpse.
just off screen is actually
give away all my secrets.
What's the serial killer?
You know that's what IT help desks do when
like the Zodiac Killer's altar.
They tell you to shut it off, and then they're like, bring out a goat when they're on mute. Hey, it works.
What was the TV
you said as long as we don't get sidetracked.
The serial killer that was the one that then only killed bad people.
Dexter.
That's the one.
Dexter.
I couldn't think of the name. That's what Tom's room is like to the left of it instead.
So much plastic
sheet. It's a kill room.
Just countless Asda bags for life, just stitched together.
It's not far off, actually.
The irony of a sacrificial room coated in bags for life.
That's it. All right, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to finish off, hopefully, Mr. Corbitt. Well, I should change that. Not finish off Mr. Corbitt, maybe end the adventure. Investigation. You've already desecrated graves. Let's not go for murder just yet.
Whoa. Less of the you've as a collective now.
All right. So before we kick into things and we start going a little bit more crazy than we already are, 3 very quick shout outs. One is for the nefarious Lost Boys Pizza.
Woohoo!
Second is for Monkey's Emporium. I don't know why I tried to say that a bit like a cockney, but and thirdly for our resident local gaming store, which Gary's very local gaming store, Shade Glass Games. Cool. And then before we dive straight back into the story, let's go around and introduce our wonderful players this evening. Mr. G, what's going down, my friend?
Oh, it's all going down. Hang on, look at this. I'm busy doing stuff in the background.
You are technical squirrel tonight. This is amazing.
I still really struggle with it. Good evening. I am Minion G. I'm Minion Gary. How you doing? I am going to be playing Albert Brassingham, an English guy in America. He's a procurer of fine antiquities for the discerning gentleman and has a bit of a thing about drinks, right? But hey, we all have our little quirks and eccentricities. You just need to get used to them. And we'll see what happens. And he definitely didn't take part in some grave robbing, No. What you'll find is Albert Bassingham was at home aloning the shit out of that place, so it looked like everybody was there.
You say finding things for the discerning gentleman, and this just makes me think like smutty comics. that's the antiquities you're getting.
Yes. I think you'll find it's pornographic antiquities. Porn, my dear boy, it's been around for many millennia.
The Venus de Milo's tits.
You want a I can't do it, no.
Okay, good.
You want BDSM hieroglyphs? I'm your man.
Swiftly moving on to, I would say, somebody more sane, but I mean, last session's antics would maybe question that. Tom, welcome back.
Hi, yeah, I'm Tom, and I'm playing the FBI agent Kurt Templesmith, who is currently regretting some horrible life decisions he's made. Yeah,
he doesn't like people resting in peace, right? That's what we've learned.
Yeah, I'm going to be barred from a few places, I feel.
It was tough, and I was maybe I was a little bit mean in letting you guys carry on, but you failed to miss one key fact in all of your story, in all of that last week, in that there were twins that were born. And it never got mentioned. I said it once, and it never got mentioned. And you guys went for it, and I thought, should I stop them? Nah, let's let
the chaos unfold.
Absolutely.
I still would have gone with the corpse robbing, grave digging, whatever.
Okay, excellent. Maybe you're a descendant of Birkin here.
Absolutely.
Cool. And last but by no means least, PJ, welcome back, my friend.
Hello. I am PJ. I will be playing Phineas Bartram, English inventor of dubious success. And I hasten to add that we weren't grave robbing because we didn't actually take anything. We were merely exhuming bodies for professional investigative purposes.
That'll get you off, I'm sure.
I mean, legally speaking, that might get you off. I mean,
we had the permission from the gravekeeper himself. He wasn't present, but
digging up bodies certainly gets me off.
Jesus! Wow!
Kurt really has been spending too much time with Albert Bassingham.
Oh, you love it. You know you do.
Kurt is now becoming the discerning gentleman that was previously mentioned.
Listen, you want some hieroglyphic? I can't do that. Yeah, right. If you want some ancient pornography, I'm your guy.
Okay, so as a recap, our investigators all arrived to Albert Bassingham's house, having been brought there from Albert to investigate or to keep an eye out on a neighbour, a well-known neighbour, well-known around the neighbourhood, a Mr. Corbitt, who Albert thinks there's something definitely dodgy going on there. And on the Sunday evening that you guys were around, you're pretty sure you saw a human arm flop out of a package he was carrying. You did go around and knock on the door after going into his boot and taking up a purple flower, which may or may not have been some form of obsession for some of you. Mr. Corbitt seemed to have convinced you guys that nothing was awry, and Kurt, although he thinks he may have seen a woman scurry past a window with a shocked look on her face, you guys have been none the wiser. Subsequent investigations down into details around Mr. Corbitt find out that his father suffered an incident in India while he was out there, and his body remains unfound. Along with this, Mr. Corbitt's wife passed away, along with the child that is mentioned. Now, twins were mentioned at one point last week. However, the investigators decided, upon themselves having visited the sanatorium, and following some comments made by Mona? What was her
Mona
name?
Dunlap.
Mona Dunlap.
Yeah.
Mona. That they needed to investigate the bodies. And as such, off they went in the thick of a Monday night to go and exhume the bodies. And unfortunately, they found 2 desiccated corpses. So, swiftly moving on, they made their way out and back home. And we will pick up the following morning, assuming that Mr. Templesmith and Mr. Bartram get back to Mr. Brassingham's place, quickly ignore the nonsense of his home aloning and tomfoolery that seems to have been happening, and absconding themselves to the rooms for the evening. So, gentlemen, what time do you all get up in the morning?
God.
I mean, Albert gets up at like 6 to refill half the glasses and then goes back to bed to make it look like he hasn't been up.
Okay, cool. All right. Sleep refilling. Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
It's a quirk. We all have our coping mechanisms. Some of us have seen some truly horrific sights, and that's how I cope.
Yeah, you drinking half drunk coffee.
If this is the BDSM hieroglyphics you're on about, I'm not sure. So,
I've got some Roman scat papyrus, if anyone's ever interested.
Are you guys early risers? Are you kind of mid-morningers, lay-inners? What's
Sort of 8:29.
Oh, okay.
That's late.
I like to think you spent years of having your alarm at 8:30, and now you always wake up just before your alarm.
Yep.
Messes with your mind.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. Kurt's saying that's
where...
late, and then he's like, "Yeah, I get up at 8:20 every morning."
I have to be at work by 8, so I wake up at least 10 to 8.
Cool. All right. So, kind of 7:30ish in the morning, you guys decide whether you've alighted yet from your beds. But Albert, you will hear a rapping at the door.
Obviously, I shall go down.
Sorry.
You open the door and there is a vinyl mat placed on the porch. You are challenged, sir, to a dance-off. No. You get down, and through the window of your front door, you can see Mr. Corbitt is stood there waiting. He is in his hat, his overjacket, normal suit. Looks to be carrying something underneath that you can't quite see without opening the door.
Okay, I'll open the door. Bernard, jolly good to see you. Nice early start today.
Well, yes. These are for you. And he hands over another tray of kind of different fruits, apples, some oranges, some vegetables in there as well. All look really fresh, really tasty. Very nice.
Oh, this is marvelous.
I wondered if you could do me a favor. You see, I'm going to be out of town, possibly just for the night, maybe a couple of nights. And, well, I know it's a nice neighborhood, but if you could just keep an eye out, make sure the house is okay, that sort of thing.
Not a problem at all. I shall watch it like a hawk.
You guys all being English is making me go more English every time I try and do American.
Well, don't y'all worry. We can go southern. Albert's a man of the world.
Oh, you want to be careful, Mr. Brassingham. You might bring Dolores back.
Yeah. Just don't ask him to do Chris Eubank, because that's where madness lies. Then I not told you that.
It was like Christopher Walken on helium.
No, Christopher Walken's watch up his ass. Albert's always got to watch up his ass.
We have made it 15 minutes in and the madness has descended.
So,
listen, but we've all got coping mechanisms, right?
all of this is playing out in front of Bernard, who's just stopped himself. Actually, I'll go next door. It's all right, don't worry about it. Yeah, so he says, if you can just keep an eye out. There's not going to be anything major going on, but, it's always useful just to let people know you're away. I know, obviously, you like certain things, and as you know, I'm an importer. I am going down to the customs office to discuss a shipment coming in from the Far East at the moment, some special items, but I'm due to make contact with a few sources if there's anything you need me to acquire for you.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm after some particular Persian items. Carved phalluses they are. I've got it for a client that I'm after. I've said I'd always keep an eye out for some.
I see. Not really what my sources tend to go for, but I will see what I can do for you, certainly.
Good man. What would you like me to do if I need to get in touch with you at all? I don't think, I'm just thinking worst case scenario. I like to be prepared for things. Is there anywhere I can contact you?
Well, I mean, just make contact with the office. We're down in the with the warehouse as well. The officers are there, and they'll get the message to me.
Okay, not a problem at all. I consider it done. Your property is safe in my hands.
And he kind of pats you on the shoulder. And he's like, "Excellent, thank you, Albert." Turns around and off he trots, jumps in his car, and off he pops.
Ooh.
This, despite it taking 3 or 4 minutes for us, it probably takes a minute and a half really to have the conversation. So for you guys, if you're up, you may not have come down, but otherwise you may not have been woken up. Maybe you're all heavy sleepers, but I'm sure Albert can fill you in on what's going on.
Phineas is very much not a heavy sleeper. Like, he's quite a nervous disposition. So yeah, it certainly wakes him. He's a little begrudging of the fact he's been woken. Still suffering from, well, I guess it wouldn't be jet lag, would it? It would be boat lag, if anything. Ship lag.
Yeah.
Kurt will just be listening. He's awake.
Okay,
Here's the
excellent.
door. He's just listening in.
Excellent.
I'll get busy myself in the kitchen, putting the produce away.
Wonderful. Are you making breakfast for everyone?
No. I'm waiting for them to come down, and then they're gonna witness the special breakfast.
God. I will make my way down. Kurt makes his way down into the kitchen and says, "Good morning. Who was at the door? Was that?"
Morning, Templesmith. Yes, that was Corbitt. And then you'll see him reach for an egg, and he's got a half-filled cup of coffee, and he breaks a raw egg into the coffee, swirls it around, and necks it all down in one go. Perfect start to the day. Good to pick me up. Care to interest you in one?
I think I'll pass. I'll just have a glass of water if that's okay.
Yes, there's one just behind you.
Oh God!
Have you got any empty glasses? Use.
Empty glasses? What madness is that? What's the use of a glass that's empty? The whole point of a glass
inspects
is
the
to...
glass, shifts it down the sink, and then runs himself a new one. Making sure he washes the rim very carefully.
Albert is a glass half full kind of guy in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
then I'm just gonna just sit on his water,
I will.
horrified at this man drinking a coffee and egg.
I'll bring you up to date. I'll say, well, Corbitt just came over, left this produce, which is marvelous of him. He's asked me to keep an eye on his property because he's going to be away for 24 hours, which is rather convenient.
Fantastic.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. We can, maybe we should take a look over there, get a closer look whilst he's away.
I think what better way to make sure it's secure than by going inside and just checking everything.
Thoroughly agree.
Did he leave your key for the property?
No. It's not sort of an internal security, but the important thing is nobody's going to be there. So as long as I alert him that there has been a break-in that I've witnessed at some point after we've gone and looked.
I witnessed it firsthand.
Yes. Shocking it was.
I followed them round every room.
I had to go in and check.
They couldn't get into the attic. I lent them a ladder. I won't see that again.
Look like honest. We've killed Tom already.
Okay, so for you guys, there is the supposed vacant house currently of Mr. Corbitt.
I suggest we inquire elsewhere until we have the cover of darkness. Perhaps. It being a Tuesday and what have you, and folk being up and about.
They should be at work.
Kurt's gone very right wing this. Goddamn scroungers.
Send them to the mines. Okay. So you've got the house there. If you chose to break in, you have got the Corbitt importing warehouse and offices that you could go to.
The CIA, and there's Men of Industry Club as well.
And there is the Men of Industry Club. So there's nothing necessarily stopping you from going around the back of the Corbitt house and checking out the outside if you wanted to be kind of, less all gung-ho.
I think it's what Corbitt would like me to ensure that it's secure before we go anywhere. So I suggest we take a perusal of the perimeter of his property and just make sure all the windows are safely down and that the doors are locked. That way I can have a clean conscience if we decide to go anywhere, that it is truly a secure building.
He makes a good point.
Yes, capital.
So in this box of produce, were there cucumbers or anything?
Make me a look roll.
Yeah.
Hates it as a carved palace.
A luck roll. Come on. Yes, one success.
So there is a selection there of all of Albert's favorite kind of things that you've mentioned to Bernard over the years.
Brilliant. I would like to, whilst we go over and walk around the house, I'm going to hold a cucumber because I think should anyone come upon us, they're not going to question a guy with a cucumber. It looks perfectly natural, and you can just, I've got a cucumber. This is my plan.
Brandishing a marrow.
Yeah. Who is going to question the integrity of a man holding a cucumber? Nobody. I tell you, nobody.
If anybody is American watching us, that's a zucchini, right?
No, that's eggplant.
No, zucchini's
No.
courgette, isn't it?
No, that's aubergine.
Zucchini's
Isn't it?
courgette. Aubergine's eggplant.
Yeah.
Courgette.
It's an
Courgette, that's the
unpickled
one.
pickle.
Yeah.
Some pickled pickle.
I would like to offer parsnips to anybody. Would you like to carry a parsnip? I'm just descending into insanity
I will
now.
take a parsnip.
Ah, good back.
Phineas is just flabbergasted at the proceedings before him.
Phineas, you look like a celery man. Celery. I've spotted Sherry. I've spotted Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello,
Bushie and Gary say hi. Oh, sweet. He's got sniffles,
Oh no.
which means I'm gonna get sniffles.
Was that a small cat she was carrying? This is Sniffles.
All right. Cool. So you guys are leaving the property, brandishing your vegetables, and heading over across.
We are simply getting grosser and grosser.
Hey. Cool. So you head over, and yep, the front of the house is pretty much kind of how you've left it. There's now blinds pulled down over the basement windows from the front. Kind of the curtains, the drapes in the front of the house are not fully closed, but kind of half closed. And yeah, as you head round the back, there is, in fact, I may have a little outdoor map for you. Let me have a quickie look. Is it this one?
Because he has the greenhouse, doesn't he?
Yes. Bear with me. Haha. Right, let's try it again.
During this short interlude, I'm going to open a pack of gluten-free Jaffa cakes, which are possibly the worst food ever created. But I'm
Do you know,
Other brands of Jaffa cake are available.
normal tasty Jaffa cake are available. Gary is eating. He's like the mummy. He just eats sand.
Is it just communion wafers?
Just-
Yeah. So they taste like stale Jaffa cakes, but the worst attribute to them is, which many people can attest because I always offer them out when I have them, is that they suck all the moisture out of your mouth. But
Oh God!
it's the only gluten-free Jaffa cake available, so I don't have any other choice. So I really like them.
But here we go.
Mm.
So, as you head over, as it shows, this kind of, it's not too much to the to the right or left of the property. It's kind of nice and open. As you head around, there is a vegetable garden. Assuming you're going around from the right, a vegetable garden first, with a small stairway leading up to the back door, and then the greenhouse.
It's just as I suspected. He's been plotting.
Oh my God.
Can I peer into the greenhouse?
Yeah, you can.
Presumably, it's a glass building.
Yes. However, given the time of day it is, there's quite a lot of condensation on the inside of it, as the greenhouse is warmer inside than it is outside.
Can I see anything purple? You know it's coming, Bushy.
Make me a spot hidden check.
Spot hidden. Boom. Ah. Every time I try and investigate this sodding plant, it's a single failure.
A single failure. Okay, that's no issues.
Oh, by 2 points. Do I push my luck?
Ooh.
You can push it, or
You can push
spam
the
luck.
roll. So,
is the actual door to the
Greenhouse open.
greenhouse open? It's not locked or anything.
I mean, nobody's tried it, so you know. As,
Can I try it whilst he's trying to peer through?
absolutely. Yeah, it's a sliding door on a greenhouse. It's open.
All right.
Okay.
So what do we see inside?
Well, You go in, and there is a plethora there of different plants. Some look quite exotic, some you've never seen before. So Albert may or may not have told you that over the years he is definitely grown more and more kind of exotic plants, kind of dangerous orchids, some different kind of fungi there, and he's always looking at something else, something a little bit unusual to grow. And his greenhouse is kind of where that happens, given that it is a lot warmer. It's got a lot of warm climate in there for it. So really, to make any kind of understanding of what you're looking at in there, I'd need you to give me either a natural world roll, or if you've got like a science botany or something like that.
I have science chemistry, but I don't think that would cover it, would it?
I mean, you could make a roll on it and see if there's anything there, I guess, that you would recognize from any narcotics or anything like that. But yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah, that's failure. This plant is going to just be my undoing. This is going to be my descent into madness.
I mean, how else? How? I guess, are you just looking? Are you picking stuff up? Are you eating it?
I'm very much not eating it, given that I can't identify it.
I mean, you know your go-to guy, right?
Yeah. So we just pick up one of the plants and just throw it at like Albert and say, "Cow down."
It's like a cow chewing cudgel.
Yeah. Just watch him trip balls for like the next 24 hours.
I mean, Kurt, I don't know what you expect me to do with this. This is uneaten, and I'm only into half-eaten things.
So
I'm out.
And I'm not biting into it first. So I'm just gonna look at Phineas and be like, "Do you want to go first?"
So I've been unable to find anything that resembles the plant that I saw in the.
So in your initial search, you've not found anything. I guess obviously, if you spend a bit of time in there, you absolutely could do. You're going to have to get in between the flowers and look at what's growing and stuff. So you're going to have to delve in and get a little bit mucky. But if you want to spend the time and do that, you're more than welcome to.
I'm going to stay here and just have a look a little while longer. Very much like the library. You go on and inspect the house. I'll catch up with you in a little while.
Excellent. Okay. So, are you guys going to just leave Phineas in the greenhouse?
Yeah. I'm going to start looking at the windows.
I would just
don't like the way you asked that question, but
Albert would have just been loitering by the entrance to the greenhouse. He didn't go in. Albert's going to check the back door.
Okay, and so far nobody's eaten any of the vegetables that they've brought around with them or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Thought you
Albert
all
is
might be hungry in the
brandishing
morning,
his.
But, like a rapier out in front of him.
I mean, I can't until someone else has eaten it first. So.
I mean,
I love the dedication.
Protected by your own just deviancy.
Yeah.
Can you combat anybody?
Okay. So what's next for you guys?
Checking the back windows. Is there any where are the windows?
Cool. Okay. So so in the back windows, so there's a couple of windows there in the kitchen, a couple that show the dining room kind of looping around into a front living room. There's not too much else that you can kind of see. Again, the drapes there are half closed, so there's still light coming into it, but nothing major. The shades, the shades on all of the basement windows are pulled down at the moment, though, so you can't go looking in the basement if that's what you were trying to get to.
They're all the windows are secure. There's no way of like trying to forcing them up or anything.
So for the basement windows, yeah, they all look shut. So it'd take, I mean, if you've got kind of a crowbar or something that you can, maybe a bent walking stick, maybe that would help.
I bent it.
But yeah, so from a basement perspective, there's nothing that kind of jumps out as you as quick ways to gain entry. If you want to go looking around the rest of the windows, which would make you somewhat more suspect, but you absolutely can. I need you to make me a spot hidden roll.
Okay. I'm guessing like looking around, there's no one overlooking us. We can't be seen in the back garden by anyone.
Appears to be high edges.
Like I can't see anyone in the windows, like window twitching, looking at us. What would like suspiciously?
You see somebody looking out from you from Corbitt's house, and no. So
Jesus.
I was about to say what?
It's Corbitt.
Yeah. He just got his friend to drive off, and actually he's waiting for you all to come busting in. So yeah, there isn't anything really that you can see offhand. If you want to do it surreptitiously and try and catch, because as soon as you look up, anybody there is going to kind of duck away. Yeah. I guess is what you think. So you could make me a stealth roll. And that'd be able to kind of give you a look up. It's kind of I failed
stealth roll. So
okay, so from what you can see, there's definitely no one watching you.
Okay. I just want to try and force one of the windows just with my hands, if that's possible.
Awesome.
One that leads into, was it the dining room?
Yeah. Okay. So there's kind of the two, not quite sash windows, I guess, but there's two kind of fairly large windows there. You think you could probably get a purchase. It's whether the latch is on. Let's see. Give me a... Give me a strength roll.
Ooh, cool.
Extreme success.
Oh,
amazing.
You got a 5 versus an 85.
Yeah, now holding a window.
Wow.
Give me a look roll.
Failure.
So
push it.
Can I push it?
Do you know what? Look rolls? Can you push look rolls?
I know you can't spend luck on them.
You can't spend luck. But...
Combat rolls, you definitely can't. I don't know, to be honest.
Okay, so for sure, you could push this look roll. What I would say is your foreshadowing is your extreme success means you have absolutely beaten the latch on this door. However, you are concerned that there may be a damage to the glass and thus possibly damage to yourself with the sheer force that you have decided to open this door with.
Okay. Can I use my turnip to bash away the rest of the glass? So I don't hurt myself, and it's just glass going into turnip.
Why did the turnip come in useful?
So so if you're pushing the roll, then you need to make me another luck roll, and that would
I've broken the
determine
window
output
now
of
anyway, so I might as well.
that. Okay, make that luck roll.
Ooh.
Failure.
So the first one was a 76 on a 55, and this one's a 74 on a 55.
Oh,
I'm not a lucky
bad,
man.
bad news
Not a
on a
smart
push
man
roll.
as well, but
I think it
Right.
was right to go for the push.
yeah.
Okay, so you definitely open the door. Thankfully, there is no damage to yourself. However, you have definitely shattered the window pane that was within this window. A lot of it falls to the floor, so yeah, absolutely turnip it away. Use the turnip as a bludgeon and knock the rest of the window out. What I would say for you guys all, and Phineas will have definitely heard it too, is it did make somewhat of a racket when you decided to shatter that window. And maybe there's no one watching, but anybody around would definitely have heard it.
We also saw those group of teenagers like throwing turnips at windows, didn't we? Came rushing over.
Wait, your kid's been throwing turnips.
Well, where has this smashed glass fallen? Is it inside or outside?
So a lot of it will have fallen inside, because if you think as he shoved the window up, it's hit and it's shattered. So there'll be stuff that will fall outside because it will kind of have been stuck in between the two. So as you lower it back down, it will drop out. But a lot of it's mainly kind of fallen inside in there. Phineas.
sir.
So
Having just heard glass shatter, I've now like fully like commando camouflaged myself amongst these flowers. Just
wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
these exotic, possibly toxic pollinating flowers.
Yep. Definitely no issues within this whatsoever. Let me just find the murderous the plants. They never lay these out in any format that I think is useful. Ever. It's just a lot of scrolling. Aha! Here we go. Wonderful. Okay, for you, good sir, I'm gonna say make me another luck roll.
A luck roll. That is a bad failure.
Okay.
It is a 76 on a 30.
Wonderful. So you go full camo and you dive in. In fact, give me a stealth roll for a moment. Let's see how well you have blended in so that the others can find you or not.
Of course that succeeds!
Wonderful. It's like you're wearing a ghillie suit. No one can see you.
No one will find my inevitably collapsed body.
As you you're peering out, I'm assuming, for kind of the shattered glass and waiting for anything to kick off that may have kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
In the moments after, you find that actually just on the corner of your eye, a little bit lower down, there is a rather succulent looking purple flower that is descended down. It looks quite bulbous. It's got a spiky blue-green leaves on there. It's got quite large, fleshy purple flowering there. And I say you can't be certain, but relatively sure that that's just turned towards you. How Yeah. What do you want to do?
Is there any sort of identifying label or tag or sort of bit of wood with a name just poked into the soil around it, or
There is not, I'm afraid.
that would have been?
It is
You
really.
could-
It says Seymour.
you can have a bit of a dig around. What I will say, excuse me, is as you dig around into the soil there, that all feels quite soft and quite loamy, and you kind of dig your fingers in to see if there's anything around. You're reasonably sure that you've pulled up the end of a toe or a finger, maybe. And we turn out that Phineas Bartram's just hotboxed the greenhouse instead.
So is it fleshy or is it just bone?
It's pretty decomposed, I guess. There's probably bits that you may find that's a bit fleshy in there, but it's definitely nothing new.
And I can't tell whether it's a toe or a finger. Cool.
I mean, then again, unless you want to kind of make me a medicine roll, I guess. It could just be a slug, right?
Totally.
Bearing in mind, I have a medicine skill of 1.
Oh.
That's a failure.
Okay, so you're not quite sure. When you saw it in the ground, or when you first grabbed it, you thought it was a finger, but actually, there's nothing 100% there around what it is.
I hope it's a finger.
So a short while after, I would say the next sort of 10-20 seconds, you still don't hear too much going off outside. Maybe a lot of cursing from Kurt, as his almighty Hulk strength has ripped off the window. And maybe some swish noises from Albert as he pretends to like sword fight with a cucumber.
That's totally happening.
Having seen that there's no sort of immediate repercussion from the shattering, I think I'll rejoin my compatriots. Toe
Awesome.
in tail.
Okay, very good. Well done. So you have come out. Are you sure there's nothing else in there that you want to go and look for? There's some rather nice looking fungi in there that, partial to a mushroom or two.
No, I'm quite happy to.
Okay. Just making sure I ask. So you come out. The party's back together. For how long though, Chatbox? For how long?
Not very. There's an open window now, right?
There is an open window. So you guys are all back together. Phineas has left. Phineas, just a quick question. Do you leave the door to the greenhouse open or do you close it?
I didn't actually break anything in there, did I?
You did not.
So yeah, I'll just slide the door back closed.
Excellent.
And as I rejoin
with the
them,
escaping air, you've been able. It's got rid of a lot of the condensation in there as well. So you're able to see quite clearly through it now for a bit. You go and you rejoin Albert, I guess, who are both looking at Kurt, knocking out the remains of glass with a turnip. Parsnip.
Parsnip.
Was it
Parsnip?
It was parsnip.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
Aren't you glad I gave you that parsnip now? You see, it's a wonderful, useful tool for any occasion.
It's fantastic. I don't know what to say. It's a parsnip. It served me well.
Gentlemen, I feel that Mr. Bartram, that would be myself. Sorry, I'm slightly shaken. Mr. Corbitt might be taking the old fish, blood and bone a little bit far, and I'll present the toe/finger.
Oh, and where is that from?
It was in one of the plant pots. The same species that I found in the boot of his vehicle.
I would say that gives us enough evidence to enter the house.
I'm certainly glad we got that in the right order. Yes.
I love it.
Reasonable grounds.
It's all coming together.
There's a,
I love that anywhere we go, we form an alibi first.
it's definitely a judge somewhere in here that would sign off your. We found it. Maybe some bit of flesh in the greenhouse, so he smashed and broke into the house. Had to be. Okay.
There's a whole narrative of badgers going on in chat, by the way, by chatbox.
Excellent. Well, it depends though, chatbox, which parsnips he's chewing on. If he's on the end of Kurt's parsnip, then we have badger issues, and a culling may need to happen. Also,
I mean, hey, we've got a cat on stream. We just need a snake to make the song complete, right? Because we've got badger, we've had mushrooms.
Okay. So guys, as Phineas kind of points back to the greenhouse, Phineas, you are pretty sure that the majority of the condensation have left. However, that greenhouse looks weirdly foggy right now. Almost like there's a mist or something inside of it. It definitely, you were certain it wasn't like that before.
I could have sworn that the condensation had cleared off that glass. It can't reform that quickly, surely.
I mean, it depends what's going on in there. If there's some strenuous activity, but I tell you what, you guys go and investigate that, and I'll just climb through the window.
Okay, good. I mean, it's good. It's good letting the officials going first. You know, the authorities, not officials.
I think you'll find to the FBI last week.
I think you'll find he's left the property in my care, and it is my duty as trusted friend and confidant of Mr. Corbitt to go in and make sure that everything's in its place and as it should be, and that nothing has been stolen by them rapscallions that I saw fleeing the crime scene
after throwing a turnip through the window.
It sounds legit anyway. Yeah. Right.
They were wearing black and white.
Guys, are you going back into the greenhouse or are you going into the house?
I want to go back into the house. I want to go into the house. I haven't been in the house yet, but yeah.
I'm certainly not going into the greenhouse alone again, so I will follow my compatriots.
Okay. Reluctantly, Phineas sees a chance for some scientific knowledge lost as you guys just barrel on into the house.
Just follows muttering to himself. I could have sworn the glass was clear.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you guys, let's see if I can find...
You're a bastard, Bushy. That's going to niggle on me for the rest of the session now.
Hey, you know, you're an inquisitive mind. It's important that you go and see these things. If I bring
Listen,
up
I
this
remember
one.
watching Triffids as a kid, and it's like, nope, nope.
Go.
Terrified.
So let's zoom in.
Yay, there's Catbot on screen now.
There is. This is for the discerning gentleman. Part of the BDSM hieroglyphics that Albert Brassigan was on about earlier
Oh,
is
yes.
some cat ass that you can have.
Perfect place to store your tea towels.
Come on. He's only up here because the dog's not up here. And he would normally be like this on me all the time. But every time I'm downstairs, the dog gets up on the sofa, so he doesn't get any fuss.
Aw.
So, yeah, so now I'm here. He can.
It's like, you know, you're my favorite, right?
Yeah. So, okay. So you guys climb in and you are here. So this is the dining room here.
Is this a map that you've uploaded onto Roll20?
Oh, is it not? Is it not show?
No, it's not showing.
Is it not? Right. Hold on. Let me reshare. No. How about that?
Happy days.
Yay!
There we go. So yeah, so you guys are kind of in here. This is the dining room. Let me get to my insides. So, okay, so as you jump into the dining room, there is there's a table there with 4 place settings, kind of all laid out. Looks untouched, looks clean and tidy though, nicely clean. You know, there's not dust anywhere. There's certainly no half-drunk cups everywhere.
What sort of a house does he live in?
In fact,
Disappointed.
the only cups that he has on show as you kind of go round in the kitchen, which is just off to the right here, in this area, is a small glass and a small plate that was just in a drainer. Everything else is away. There's kind of a set of 4 of everything. Yeah, it's largely nondescript. Is there anything? Is there any
pictures on the wall?
Yeah.
Any pictures on the wall? Weirdly, so there are some, but there's not a lot. So weirdly, there's no pictures for him and his wife. There's nothing there. You know, there's some old photos there of him and his father, and that's kind of it, really. Yeah.
Well, I believe, Kurt, you were interested in the basement. Shall we find a basement access and go and
Yes,
have a
absolutely.
peek? Very well. Let's split up and search for the basement.
Wonderful.
Okay, Scooby.
Okay, so who's going where?
Gonna make my way to the basement.
So we're in the kitchen now, which is top right.
Yeah, so you're kind of here.
Okay, I'll search the doors attached to the kitchen. Maybe there's a like a doorway, like a cupboard going down or something. Yeah. I'll take where we are now.
Okay.
I'll search the room with the fireplace.
Okay.
I presume that's a fireplace.
Yeah, the front door area. Okay. I mean, for you guys going around, the door that you would, I guess ultimately the door that you would assume goes down to the basement is kind
Beneath
of
the stairs?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's locked. In here, so if I quickly go around for you, so in here is kind of like I say, the front living room. Is there anything of interest in there for you?
A key on the mantle, perhaps?
Underneath a sign that says basement key. And let's have a think. Is there anything else? Is it in that room? Yeah. So okay. So in this room, there's the kind of the front room or front living room. I guess there's not much. It's a fireplace. There's an old radio that's there and a gramophone. There's an armchair and there's a sofa, but otherwise there's not loads there going on. And heading over, there's a front porch and a small cloak room kind of down here with a front door.
Could I take a quick gander in the cloak cupboard?
Yes, absolutely.
Just full of cloaks.
How many pairs of shoes are there? And are there any women's shoes? Bernard might be the type.
Absolutely. There are 3 pairs of shoes in there. There are 2, so 2 of the pairs look almost exactly the same in a black broguesque fashion. And then there is a pair of slippers in there as well.
No gardening shoes or anything like that.
No gardening shoes or anything like that. No.
And the other shoes are clean. Sorry to labour a point. But...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing kind of unordinary about them, except maybe the fact that they are just a very clean, very similar 2 pairs of shoes.
So we found a locked basement door, didn't we?
Yes.
You found a door you assume goes to the basement that is locked.
Okay.
You can see that this goes upstairs, and then if you head into this room, this room has kind of been turned into a study almost. You've got a desk with a single shelf of books. There's a bit of a mix that are in there, but the kind of the most interesting ones, there's an Arabic copy of the Quran. There's a copy of 20 Experiments in the Occult by the charlatan Dr. Arthur Turnley. There is a well-worn copy of True Magic by Theophilus of Venn. And there is a large, crudely fashioned book bound in some sort of snake skin, which I'd need you to give me a natural world roll on to
It's
if
the
you
snake
wanted to
to go with the
identify
badgers
it.
and mushrooms.
And on this book or inside, it has a language that you don't recognize.
Is there any like sets of drawers or anything in this room that might have a key in or anything?
Give me a spot hidden, my friend.
I'm just going to pee real quick.
Success. 65 versus 65.
A success.
Okay. Awesome. So, there is no key. However, in and around the books, and as you are searching through these things, you find some journals that look to be written by Corbitt himself. Now, in total, there are 14 of these leather-bound journals, kind of going back through different years and kind of life in India and so on and so forth. If you wish to take the time, it would probably take you 10-15 minutes to kind of leaf through a single volume. And then if you want to do a bit more of an in-depth reading, I'd need you to probably make me a library use roll, I guess, to see how quickly you get through them all.
Just want to thumb through them for anything of interest. To be fair, we've got 24 hours until he's back, so
Presumably.
Unless he's been called back. I'd like to, while Kurt's going through that book, I think Albert would like to flick through the snakeskin book, peruse it.
Excellent. So, first do you know what languages do you know? Let's start with that, Albert.
English, which is the only
English.
language that you need to travel around this world, I'll have you know.
The classic Englishman abroad. How many? Three.
I'm going to read these words slowly and loudly.
Yeah.
Come
That's how it
Aum
works,
Thomas.
Chat box, it's morning. Basically, Corbitt has asked them to look after the house and left for the morning, not even the day. He's just left, and they've gone over and broken in.
Time is of the essence.
oh wait, he's coming back this morning, this afternoon.
No.
Well, no. So he said that he could be back. It may take him overnight. He didn't say it
that's
definitely
what I
will.
thought. Okay, I was getting worried he was going to be back that afternoon. Then I was like, oh shit.
Read quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not got any languages. It's all gibberish to me.
Okay. So yeah, so there isn't too much in there, which is a shame for you.
Is the lettering at least a recognizable alphabet, even if the words aren't comprehensible?
Make me a education roll.
Education roll. Where is my education? There it is. Oh, that is an extreme success.
Excellent. The language, whilst you don't know it, you know enough to recognize it as Sanskrit.
Albert, dear boy, and I don't know the language itself. However, I recognize the symbology. It appears to be written in Sanskrit.
Oh, very good. Yes, I have no idea what that means.
Excellent.
Well, you see, it's an ancient and I'll just sort of go off on like an educational rant about the origins and the etymology of Sanskrit to no one in particular. Just
I'll hand him the book. Is any of those other books in English?
So other than the journals, which are handwritten, there's True Magic by Theophilus.
Oh yeah. You know I'm going for that, right?
So much so that I even have to get the actual Keeper's book out to look it up because I just wrote the page numbers. Sorry, the Adventures just got the page numbers in.
I mean, okay, so as a veteran player, I have an idea what's about to happen. But I am genuinely doing it because we've got newer players, and I think it'll amuse them to know what happens when you go around reading strange books in Cthulhu if they've never seen it happen before. I've got an inkling.
Okay. Chant of Thoth? No, that's not good. Where? are you? Aha. Cool. So, yes, you spend some time reading into this. Are you reading the words out loud? Asking for purely philosophical reasons, of course.
No. Albert is intelligent enough to not have to read out loud. Although I would love to have read it out loud.
You shocked Phineas so much by that he choked on whatever he was drinking.
I desperately wanted to, but I just don't think it fits with. I don't think he'll be sitting there going, "Om nom sibab, om nom sibab."
Okay.
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing.
I'm up to the ceiling.
Right.
Just for anyone that's ever seen the Peter Sellers version, it's actually A Hard Day's Night. It's going, it has been a hard day's night. I have been working like a dog. All out loud. It has been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I feel all right. Yes, I feel all right.
It's like that William Shatner's dramatized reading of Rocket Man, isn't it?
If you've never seen, so Peter Sellers did Hard Day's Night as Richard III. He also did Help as Hitler.
Oh God!
I think it was Help. He did a series of Beatles songs as unusual characters. The Richard III one is by far the best.
Oh, I finally got round to watching The Room, by the way.
Yay!
You're in a dark room.
Oh,
So good.
oh, that's amazing. Did you like it? It's good, isn't it?
It was fantastic.
John Robertson is amazing.
So, apologies for the time spent. However, you spend the
Masters of
time
vamping.
reading, and you start out. You start out quite openly, just kind of reading, flicking through, and as you're turning the pages, you're becoming more and more engrossed over what it is that you're reading. Before I explain to you exactly what is happening, we're just going to see what the other guys are up to.
Yeah.
So, Kurt and Phineas.
Kurt
So
was reading
I'm-
through one of the other publications, wasn't he?
Good job.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the journals, flicking through them. Seeing if anything catches my eye.
Okay. So there is so there is a few bits. Are you going in any particular order?
Yeah, actually, if I can, I'd look back, see if there's anything around the date. Oh God, what was it? How many years ago was it now?
Was it 12 years ago his wife passed?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Or was that his
yeah,
dad?
12 years ago. See if there's anything around that sort of time period. So went back 14 years, didn't they, the books?
Yes.
Yeah. So his dad died, I think, 2 years before his wife died, didn't he? That vaguely rings a bell. I didn't make those notes.
Okay.
The annoying thing is I did and lost them.
So the first thing that you come across is on October the 29th. And it says, I've met a charming young woman at a social gathering. Her name is Lynn Myers. I've arranged to take her to the pictures next week. My lord, I think, would approve of her.
What was the date of that? Sorry, 18th.
October the 29th.
I was way up.
As you kind of go forwards in this, the next one that really kind of jumps out at you as slightly more unusual is I've spent 30 hours in ceremony, have located Ramesekva. He wants a bridge to the world and needs my help. I have agreed. My studies have shown that Ramesekva is an obscure Asura, an East Indian demon. The Asura are said to be older gods, the ones who ruled before the coming of Shiva. Certain things spoken of in Ven's book lead me to believe that there may be a link to a being called Yog Sothoth.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's just at this point that we need Albert to make a sanity roll, please.
Woo! Oh yeah, sanity roll is a failure. 72 against a 52, which is the best type of roll.
So that's a failure.
Yes.
Okay. So you can, because I haven't got any rollers up, roll me a d6.
Okay. I got a 1.
Okay.
Which
you
again
take
is the best roll.
3 points of
Woohoo.
sanity loss.
Excellent.
As you're reading these, you start seeing glimpses into a dark, almost that you think is a passageway, but it's now truly as if your mind's eye is actually opening and you are seeing the breadth of the world before you. There is a flash of lightning and there is a being further in the distance that you have not been able to make out so far. For you guys back at home, in the home of Mr. Corbitt, you're reading through this journal when you may or may not notice a natural chat box, a natural one on the sand loss, or a natural one on this sand roll.
I mean, I wish I'd rolled more on that D6 now, because then we'd have had temporary insanity check, which would have been.
It may not be long. It may not be long.
Yeah.
If you roll a natural one on your sun roll, then I agree. Then you could reduce insanity. That makes sense. Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. So you guys will probably notice that Albert has, whilst he's not really talking, he's starting to kind of mumble. His breath's getting a little bit quicker. And if you actually look over at him now, he's there's some sweat forming on his on his brow. He's thinking about those cat butts again in the hieroglyphics.
Remember, it's a Persian phallus I'm after. No.
Persian being a breed of cat.
So, Albert, you hear the beginnings of a whisper just faintly coming towards you. It's kind of just out of your ear's reach at the moment, but it's something niggling away.
I want to try harder to listen to it.
You want to try harder to listen to it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. For you guys, it gets a little bit more lively that Albert is being very engrossed in this book and is definitely now not talking in any words that you can understand.
Rush over and try and pull the book from his grasp and
Absolutely.
slap him?
Absolutely, you can. You can. Okay, so you jump in and you can knock the book out of his hands.
Get it together, man.
Oh man, I wanted to read the book.
Albert,
yeah,
you are not very happy at this.
Oh, definitely.
And in fact, so much so, you're going to keep that book.
Yes.
And even though the book's closed, and even though you are talking, every time there is that small space of quiet, there is a whisper forming in the back of your mind, tickling at the edges of your eardrums. It's like a gnat caught that you just can't quite get rid of. For you guys, there is some other stuff that's within the journals. So you're looking particularly around stuff around Lynn. So in these kind of in the second journal that you come across that you find anything interesting in, January the 10th, I find myself wanting to make Lynn my wife and have sealed the thought by proposing to her. She accepted, and we have set the date of marriage for March the 9th of this year. Rama Sekfa assures me the time is right. And the next one that you get to is, have returned from our honeymoon. Lynn and I have decided to keep the family place as it is excellent for raising children. In May, all being well, Lynn will accompany me on a trip to Ceylon for a new herbal tea supply. This may be my last trip out of the country for a while. A man who plans a family must be willing to settle down a bit. And then the last one is April the 1st. Had to send Lynn to visit her mother while I cast the ceremony. I don't believe she is ready to understand yet. Ramasekfa has told me he wants a union of flesh. He demands the union be made with my wife. I am to await 13 days, cast another easier ceremony, and then wait. Ramasekfa is to take my place.
He's so messed up.
Okay. Guys, make me maybe a listen check.
I hear nothing but the whispering in my ears.
Ah,
I hear nothing but the whispering in his ears.
I hear nothing.
oh wow. Okay, so you've all heard nothing. Excellent.
Yep.
So you guys are all. I'd imagine that Kurt's kind of reading through these journal entries as he finds them now. You're all that engrossed into what's being said. So we have, where we go. So you've gone from his wife. You've got on November the 21st, horror of horrors. My life is ashes. Poor Lynn went into labor today, and in the course of giving birth to the child, she expired. Despite all I did to save her, Nurse Dunlap blundered into the room at the wrong moment, and when she saw the child, took leave of her senses. In trying to take care of her, I may have neglected Lynn at the critical moment. At any rate, she is gone, and I blame only myself. A second child, a boy, was born dead, and I have turned both bodies over to the funeral home. The child of Ramasekfa I have hidden in the basement. The thing is limbless and appears to have trouble breathing. I don't think it can live for long.
Dun, dun, dun.
God. Well, that's a thing.
So-
we need to go into the basement.
I think we should go into the basement.
I would like to
It's-
go to the locked basement door and say, Kurt, good chap. Basement door appears to be locked. Care to help me open this pickle jar?
I don't think his trusty parsnip is going to come in handy this time round.
I do have my trusty gun.
Which is a
Just-
sci-fi reference for anybody.
just one moment. In my father's monogram tool belt, do I have like any shims of metal? Because as one of my hobbies that I took, locksmith was one of them.
You were very good at opening the boot of that car, the trunk.
Make
Sorry.
me a look roll, Phineas.
A luck roll. That is a success.
Then yes, indeed, you do have some shims there.
Happy days. Could I attempt to use my locksmith skill and
100%, my man.
okay, locksmith is also a success. Huzzah!
Why?
Full.
All those hours whiling away at my hobby.
So you you definitely go through through the lock with no problems.
So I open the door and say, perhaps the armed federal agent should lead the way.
I will more than happily do so.
I
Is there a
assume
light
you're also
switch
in
at
possession of
all?
a torch.
Yeah.
So we've completely ignored the second floor and gone down into the basement.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any light switches or anything I can switch on? Is it? I'm guessing it's dark.
Yes, the blinds are shut, so there isn't too much that you can see there. Yeah, there's kind of it's a light switch that alights into the rooms at the side there. If you, thanks, Dexter.
Let's see what we're doing.
Down, bear with me. Let me get back to the basement. Oop. Right. So okay, so yeah, so you guys come down the stairs, and are you heading left or right?
Left.
Which side of the house pertains to the window where we saw the woman dash past?
That's the front, isn't it?
It was
Yeah,
the
everything
front,
was front.
but was it the left-hand side or the
Yeah.
right? Is my thought.
It was. In fact, if you remember.
When
is the left,
coming down the
sir?
stairs, I would like to follow Phineas's example before and just close the door, just in case anyone looks in and sees the basement door open.
Amazing. So you're closing the door to the basement, yeah?
Yes,
Then
because we turned the
he-
lights on, didn't we?
You did.
Yes.
Okay. You hear a subtle click as the door closes behind you. Because, you know, although you unlocked the door, it's closed shut again. So you can thank Albert for that.
You're welcome. I'm just thinking if anybody looks in, they would see that it may have been forced. So.
Well, I don't think it
I was
really matters
following
because they
what
would have seen
Phineas
the window that smashed through as well. So
Yeah. Wow. You know, maybe whoever's coming to save you, I mean, arrest you, would know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, to the left, you head in, and this looks very much like a lab. So, one end of this lab for you is filled with various different jars and beakers and retorts and, you know, mortar and pestle, different looking things, various chemicals in there, several dried plant specimens kind of found across the tables. There's
Any of them purple?
scalpels. There's not, but there are some orange vines in there. But yeah, there's scalpels, needles, some catgut, some rib spreaders, some clamps, some different looking surgical equipment, some quite large, you know, kind of bone saws, things like that.
Clean?
As you, some used, some clean. As you head over to the far side, there is a cabinet that you can hear with a faint sound of electric compressors being heard. Does anyone open the cabinet?
Phineas will. Being an
Wonderful.
inventor, he's always interested in
Excellent.
machinations.
Yes, well, this is certainly a lab. Whether Phineas would be interested in it. You open up and you find a host of refrigerated human nerves, tendons, and blood vessels, all very carefully stored for what looks like future use. And I would ask you to make me a sanity roll, please.
Oh, that is not quite a bad failure, but it is a regular failure.
Okay. In that case, you take 3 points of sanity loss. As
sorry,
you
that's my
witness the fact that, yes, indeed, there are human materials there.
This gentleman's really beginning to get on my nerves.
So I'm going to say the other two haven't looked in or have?
yeah, we'll probably follow up.
I would like to sit on the bottom of the stairs and read a book. It's calling to me.
Excellent. Okay. So you can, I mean, there is definitely, you know, the cacophony of what they're doing, and probably the short yelp from Phineas is a little bit off-putting. Kurt, I would need you to give me a sanity roll for you.
Hard success.
Ooh.
Fridge full of
Nothing
people
phases
bits.
me.
He was digging up a body last week. He's fine.
Exactly. Last night. Not even last week. Last night. Okay, cool. So as you're going around, you're really starting to get a hang of this. Phineas, for you and your background, you would kind of, whilst you feel weirdly at home being in a lab, it's also a little bit confusing because it's kind of a chemical, kind of not quite chemical manufacturing, but it's definitely a chemist's lab mixed with a surgeon's tools, mixed with some sort of plant kind of botany.
Very much not my area of expertise, yes.
There's a whole hodgepodge of different things here. And
any books on
maybe,
botany?
there's not any books from this. However,
Notes?
if there is, and you would know, not quite the full price, but you would know that all of this equipment is pretty expensive. If you were to say this out loud, there may be a certain fence. He's not an antiquities dealer, he's a fucking fence. I'm calling him out for what he is.
Procura.
Mr. Brassingham may need to say.
I never said antique stealer. I always maintain procure. I've never told a lie about my profession.
But yes, so in that case, he may just go through there and start pricing things up with you.
I mean, anything to keep his nose out of that damned book at the moment. Albert, while this isn't my field of expertise, these are certainly implements that could fetch a pretty penny. You could sell them to bone saws and physicians up and down the land, really.
I mean, it sounds interesting. I'll come and check it out in a short while.
I tried.
That's fine because he's about to be mauled anyway.
He has sat on the stairs. He is closest to the point of egress.
Climbing over a dead body is easier than climbing over a flailing body. I'm just saying.
With a cucumber.
Yes, Kurt.
So whilst Phineas is looking around the lab and Albert's reading his book, can I start trying some of the other doors?
Absolutely. So across the way from you, there is a utilities room. So if I bring up, let's have a look what we got. If we bring up,
So this is the southwest room.
so this is, oops.
So just for my own head, we came in, went left,
Yeah.
and I opened that
So
small room.
here's your lab in this
Yep.
room here. Across the way here is your utilities.
Okay.
And then down, you can go down here, and I'll get to that in a second. And yeah, so there's a a cloakroom here, or I say a cloakroom, a cupboard, and then a workroom down here.
Can I try the door in the workroom?
Yes, absolutely.
We're in that bit. Because that's at the front of the house, is it? Or is that the back?
Yeah, that's the
So that's the front left in the workroom there.
Cool.
Just for my own mind, where was the refrigerator full of bits?
It's kind of over this side. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So it isn't one of the marked doors. Cool.
No. Yeah, no. Correct. Cool. Right.
Freud whiskey. So good. Like drinking
Right.
whiskey.
So yes, you can dive into the. Yeah, that's an easier way. Here's what I'll do. I don't want the people. I want the monsters.
Yes, of course you want the monster.
Cool. So yes, you open the door, and that door opens without a problem. It's dark inside, and you hear a scrabbling across the room. Do you turn the light on?
Can I just make sure I've got my gun in my hand?
Absolutely. You can have your weapon drawn. Yep.
And I turn the light on.
Wonderful. So, as you turn the light on, there is scampering towards you with hands or arms stitched on to the side of a woman's head, a woman's face contorted in a scream with arms barreling forwards towards you.
Jesus Christ.
She makes no noise, but she is coming and looks weirdly familiar to that woman you first saw at the window. First of all, you need to make me a sanity roll, please.
Jesus. Come on.
So it's just a head and arms.
Yes.
Oh, Success. 55.
Unshakable.
Wonderful. You just take a single point of sanity loss for that. Obviously, you've seen women with arms for ears very regularly. However, at the moment, it is making a dive for you. Right. So, what
Chosen
it
shampoo
needs
his
to
head
do
and shoulders.
first-
Very good.
I'm gonna need some dice. So, what I first need to do is for me is a strength versus your dex. And yeah, that's just a regular failure. So it doesn't even make a dive. So as it comes diving over towards you, kind of grasping in the air, it kind of gets just ahead and kind of falls short of where it's grasping and biting and gnawing. So it fails in its first surprise attack. As you've got your weapon drawn, you will definitely go ahead of it. The other guys, what's your speed or your move or
Herp derp. Combat.
it'd be a dex actually, wouldn't it? Not your speed.
Yeah. 75 over here.
60 for me.
Okay, good. So you'd all get a go before the scampering woman thing. But first up, with his weapon drawn, is Kurt Templesmith.
So I shoot. I just start blasting.
So anyway, I start blasting.
All right, cool. It's gonna try and dodge, but it's got a really shitty dodge. Let's do. So make your handgun.
Firearms,
Yeah, firearms, handgun. Roll.
Success. 49 versus 50.
49 or 50.
Shooting from the hip.
That is a failure.
Shooting with his eyes closed.
Dodge. So make your damage roll, my good sir.
And so damage roll, that's on the combat. It's just that one. Is that
2 minutes, and I can get. And I can have a look.
No, so that
38 revolver for you, so 1d10.
yeah.
okay? So I'd need to roll that. Do
Oh, hang on. Regular. Yeah, if you roll it in combat, I should take it as the one, your first failure one. It gives you damage at the bottom.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah. So as long as you roll it in the combat tab, it will automatically give you the damage.
Oh, okay, right.
Cool. Bum 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 bum. Oof, man! You blast it in its head, and it should be down, but it's not because it's a crazy scampering woman thing. You guys basically hear a scampering and then a gunshot.
Oh, does that mean I've got to stop reading? Oh, man. Bloody Templesmith.
So yeah. So what would you like to do, Albert?
Well, I would have to go and investigate what all the ruckus is. I've got this good book that I really want to read. This is major inconvenience. I shall go armed with cucumber.
Oh,
do you know I might actually give you a minus for your bludgeoning in
with a cucumber? Yeah, that's good.
Cucumber. It's giving life rather. Okay, so you go armed with a cucumber. You get round. Are you going into the doorway where you can see Kurt is just inside?
Yeah. Go on then. Sanity roll.
Awesome. Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, it's a success.
Take one loss, one sanity point of loss. As you see this now, slightly kind of battered, say slightly, pretty fucking battered face of a woman with a gunshot in it, an entry wound, an exit wound at the back of her head, and arms still flailing and scrambling and grasping at nothing and everything all at once. Yeah, what? So you could move into there easy enough without you kind of doing much. Is there anything? Are you going to try and attack it?
I'm only armed with a cucumber or a book. I may reluctantly. No. I'm going to lean into this. I'm going to try and assault it with a cucumber. Use it as a deadly club.
Yes.
Which, because I've suffered a lot of sanity, so this seems perfectly reasonable to me. It's what I've got to hand.
Okay, excellent. Death by cucumber.
Oh yes.
The perfect weapon for when you're in a pickle.
So, make your attack. I guess it would be. In fact, just make a brawl.
Yep. So I do brawl, and then I've failed that massively. It's a hard failure.
Okay, fine. So yeah, they're still going to dodge out of the way, but they fail that. So losses all round. You swing ineffectually with your cucumber. Sounds like a line you may have been told before, Brassingham, but.
Well, I remember once at this party with the Earl of Sandringham.
I love
swinging and a miss, and then just starts expositioning.
Super props to Albert to actually attack a sheep with a cucumber. There we go. Okay, cool. So, however, you've missed Phineas.
I have a move rate of 9. Do I have enough movement to get?
Yeah, because you're still in the room, so that's not
Happy
a problem.
days.
Yeah.
Can I get to a position where I can see whatever Kurt has shot at?
Yes, because I'm going to say Albert's probably a bit further into the room now because he's been swinging. He's gone in swinging with his cucumber. The crazy helicopter.
East.
Yeah, he's windmilling for everyone. So yes, you can get in there. You see this figure roll a sanity loss or a roll for sanity.
Oh, that's a hard failure.
Ooh, okay. Roll a d6. In fact, I've got my dice out now. I'll roll a d6. Oh, you motherfucker. So you take 4 points of sanity loss.
4 points.
Oh, if only it had been one more.
Right? I rolled a 1 and I'd be like, it's bullshit. Okay, cool. So you are, I mean,
do I have line of sight to the
yes,
thing?
absolutely.
Yeah? Albert, I've told you once and once again, a gentleman should never be without his cane. And Phineas is going to take up his walking cane, pull on one of the raven feathers of the ornate head, and a small trigger is going to drop out from the bottom. He's going to line up and take a shot with his cane rifle at this abomination.
Wonderful. Make your firearms roll.
That is a hard success.
I've genuinely just rolled a 1.
Yay! Woohoo! This is super dodgy. Just cartwheeled out the way.
I want it to be on screen, but yeah. That was.
Yes, nicely done.
Yeah. So yeah, you fucking fire this thing off, and you are damn sure you should have hit this motherfucker, but she's coming back in with the crazy fist, and she's coming hard for you, Phineas. Hard.
Ignoring the cucumber wielder.
Ignoring the cucumber wielder.
Beelines for me.
See,
Although
it's a deadly
you
weapon.
make a fair point. The cucumber wielder would be closer.
That's all right. I just thought she wouldn't see it as a threat. Who is this idiot flailing around with a vegetable?
Right, tax per round one. Here we go. Oh, you motherfucker! That's 100.
Both ends of the scale.
Bullshit.
So
Right,
I would have chosen to brawl back if that's all right.
Okay, go for it.
Impales herself.
Is this a new round? No, this is the same round, isn't it? So there'll be a penalty dice on it because it's my second attack. So I will brawl back and I will roll the penalty dice. So that gives me a 35 against a 45, so a normal success.
Okay, just an
Make your damage.
Well, so my brawl damage is D3, but it's with the cucumber. But I rolled a 1 anyway for the damage. So it's 1 damage. 1 vegetable damage, and the cucumber's probably exploded.
Well, not only has the cucumber exploded, but death by cucumber reigns, as it only has 1 hit point left.
Oh my god!
Kill stealing! Yeah.
So in this spattering of gore, how does this happen?
So the creature is leaping up to get its arms around Albert, and I mean, it looks in his mind it looks impressive, but fundamentally what he's doing is he's going like that, closing his eyes and just thrusting the cucumber out, and it goes into the mouth, and the creature slowly chokes to death as a cucumber is rammed down its throat.
And so many Rule 42.
The good news for everybody is that as the creature chokes, it bites into the cucumber, and there's half a cucumber left. And Albert then realizes what he's done. And he turns to the other two and goes, finally, and takes a bite out of the half-eaten cucumber.
Fucking amazing.
I'm leaning into this madness.
Good. Because I think you're going to need it. So,
death by cucumber. I love TTRPGs.
Let me just initially go back up to where I've originally got the stuff out for.
You'd given up on us eating the vegetables, didn't you?
I've been laying the fucking vegetable trap for so long.
I'm happy to dive headfirst into that.
All right. So, let's make me a con save first, Albert.
Excellent. That is a normal success, 42 against a 55.
Okay. That is not good enough. So, what I need though is this. So, you then are lost as you start almost instantly to see blotches on the wall and different shots of color almost hit across the surface of everything. I mean, you may have dabbled with narcotics before, so this may not be your first trip that you've gone down.
Psychotropic substances.
But things start to take a slightly different turn. And before we go into that, just let's see how long you are in this madness for. So okay.
That sounded like a heavy dice. He's rolled more than a
Okay.
1 this time.
Okay. So that was a D20 I rolled.
Yeah, it sounded like a 20. He quitted.
So you bite into this, and for a short while, you see Kurt and Phineas probably astounded that you managed to kill this thing with a cucumber, shaking their heads, and as these colours kind of bloom around you and they drop to a dark blackness, the skin starts to slowly peel away from your friends, and then the muscle starts to peel away and it shrivels, and soon the skeletons turn brown and to dust. And you are faced into this new world that you were so eager to get to previously. Here, the whispers are a lot more prevalent. They're still not making any sense to you, but it's no longer a little gnawing in the back of your mind. It's up front, and you can hear the loud and clear. There's a lightning that flashes across the landscape in front of you now, and it reveals a dark, rock-strewn landscape. It's got different crystalline growths kind of stalagmiting its way out of the ground, and the lightning looks kind of a rose-coloured in its fashion, showing up this. Make me a sanity roll.
Ooh. That is a failure.
Awesome. You take 3 points of sanity loss.
Ooh, so that puts me on 7 for the session that I've lost.
Okay.
And I
But that's
started
not
on
third, is it?
I started on 52. So I've got to do maths.
You started on a higher sanity than Phineas's maximum, I'm just saying.
So while you're just going through this, Brassingham, that is what you can see. You feel like you are there, my friend.
Yep.
For you guys, he kind of looks exactly the same. He was dead confident, took his bite of his cucumber. Kurt, well, probably Phineas as well, anybody that's used to narcotics. Excuse me, you would see his pupils kind of dilate quite quickly. There may have even been a little whoa as the initial
bit of dribble.
happened with all the pops of colour. But there's I don't know, Brassingham, how would you react to this kind of new world that you're currently facing?
I mean, there's the shock that I've seen those two slough away at first. So there would have been a brief look of horror. So at first it would have been sort of a smile, then there would have been horror, and then just sort of slack-jawed.
Okay. So this is what happens. So for you two, so I need both Phineas and Kurt to make me a listen roll quite quickly, please.
Failure.
Awesome. So, so Albert, you can feel free to go around and explore the new world that you're in,
Totally.
if you so wish.
I want to go see the big structure.
Okay, awesome. So you're going after one of these big crystalline growths.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. For you guys, as Albert has described, he's now kind of in this trip and looks like he's probably going to be there for a little while. However,
Kurt, get that damn book off him. And Phineas is just going to reload his cane rifle.
Cool.
and then decock the action.
Wonderful. So you're all prepped.
Yeah, I'm just a bit astounded by it all, and I'm going to go try and take the book away from Brassingham.
Okay, great. So you've taken the book off him. Albert, that's not really going to be an issue for you at this current moment in time.
Yep.
In fact, you probably won't even notice. So,
Nope.
so that's good. So, anything else you guys want to then go off and explore? There's obviously the cupboard here. There's this room here. The utilities room, there's not much in it other than like the furnace, a washer, all the kind of the usual things that are in American basements, which I'm solely basing off Home Alone. Because that's the only thing that I can remember with a basement in currently. So, and there's a furnace that eats people, and there's a washer, right?
The laundry chute coming down.
Yeah, no laundry chute in this one, but there should be.
Obviously, there's nothing else within this room, like looking around.
Yeah, there's not too much. It is kind of, as I said, like a workroom. Apart from this, crazy. I would say there's probably, now you're getting to look around, there may be a few more kind of experiments, things that maybe this crazy arm woman has ripped apart and managed to get hold of, or maybe has just been given to her as a toy. Who knows? But yeah, there isn't too much in there.
I'm not sure on your standard operating procedures for this. However, I do feel it may be time to involve the authorities.
I very much agree. Right, go to start. Well, probably going to start making my way up to the back to the stairs. So just seen the change of background.
I'm in a completely different place now.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, so you guys are now just going off, and so Kurt, you're going back to the stairs and to go up.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with Albert.
Yeah, you
just
stay
because
with him.
he's space cadetting at the moment. Yeah.
So you can move him around. Like he's not.
So he's just in like a fugue state.
Yeah, he's not complete vegetable style. You can still kind of walk him around and stuff. But
I'll start ushering him towards the stairs then.
You can always tempt him with half a cup of coffee.
So
I slap the rest of the cucumber from his grip, by the way.
My deadly weapon! No! The bane of beasts.
Okay, so just so I understand what's going on, you guys are you're heading back up outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely up to the first floor where there's probably a telephone somewhere.
Yeah.
That we'd have seen in our initial search.
Okay, cool. So you guys are making your way up there. Is
the basement door locked, or can it be unlocked from the inside?
Well, I mean, it's going to need another locksmithing roll.
You're welcome.
But,
very well. Finish steps. Locksmithing, you said, yeah?
Yes.
A spot-on success. So 50 of 50.
Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. So yes, it takes you a bit of time, but yeah, you've got a lot less light to go with for the time being, and yeah, you get the door open. Albert, you are in this new world. and you've been walking all over. You've seen a few of these growths now, and these are just kind of crystalline growths that have, like I say, a bit like stalagmites kind of shot up out the ground. I need you to just make me a luck roll.
Okay. That is a hard success. 10 against a 40.
Excellent. Okay. So you've been kind of going around, and you've some of these crystalline formations are beautiful to look at and kind of awe-inspiring, and kind of you can't even comprehend how they've been naturally formed, let alone where you are and what's going on. And then some equally are horrific, and they're kind of so horrific you can hardly take your eyes away from them. And it's less about what you can see, it's just this feeling it gives off, and this kind of emanation out from it. As you were going to have been in there for at least 15 minutes at the moment, you can increase your Cthulhu Mythos skill by 2 percentile points.
So my sanity goes down by that?
Your total sanity goes down, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, you get outside, and it is now that you hear the sirens of police cars outside. Thanks, Chatbox. We're just wrapping up now, but yeah, thank you for joining us. It's only now that you guys are hearing the sirens of some police cars outside, and as you kind of get through the door and push the basement door shut almost unexpectedly, there's and you see out the window there is no less than 4 police officers with guns drawn at the house, staring in, ready to shout to call you to come outside with your
can I take my badge and go out the door with my badge out?
You absolutely will be able to, but we will leave that for next week.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Nicely done.
I'm just going to be shot, aren't I, as soon as that door opens?
Are they trigger happy or not?
Yeah. It's America after all. Dead.
1920s America.
Yeah.
Just don't have a bottle of booze in your hand, you're fine.
Yeah, right.
I survived like unknowable horrors just to get shot by the police.
By your own side.
Yeah.
It could be worse. You could have just been mauled to death with a cucumber.
That's true.
I cannot believe that worked.
Killing blow.
I feel for you, PJ. On me rolling a 1 for your fucking hard success.
First time I've ever used the cane rifle.
And then
how it
rolling a
goes.
100 on his, like the next roll.
It's how it goes, mate. It's how it goes.
But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for playing. Once again, you did not do anything kind of leaning towards what I was expecting. And
I should have stayed in the bloody greenhouse. That has been bugging me all session.
Thank you very much to our wonderful 3 sponsors: Lost Boys Pizza, Monkeys Emporium, and Big Glass Games.
Woo!
Thank you very much to our wonderful players. In what I was pretty sure was going to be wrapped up today has extended through, with definitely extensions, which I'm going to have to go away and write because I didn't plan for the police to show up. But
that's why we pushed into the house. It's like it was an empty house. Let's get this done. I thought right. we were fast tracking to the end.
Yeah, I thought that's exactly what you wanted us to do.
Yes, yeah, I did. Except you didn't actually do the things in the house that I wanted you to do. So, but it's good because you guys may have just made a real enemy. And we'll have to work out how I'm going to plan around this for next week. So yeah, good game, guys. Good game.
Thank you very much, Bushy.
Thank you,
for sorting
Bushy.
that
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
find
same
out about
time
this flower.
next week. You're all free Wednesdays next week?
I am free.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's do
yep.
Wednesday. Let's do Wednesday next week, and then we'll connect and we'll work out a date. We may move to Tuesdays, but we'll work that out. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys.
Amazing. Thank you
Cool.
all.
Stand
Don't
up.
forget to hit the end button. Don't
I'll
do
wait
the
for
awkward
the
end.
minion to sign us off because we have to just wave awkwardly at this point.
Yeah. Start waving. It's going to take ages. So
I
we go
know.
end broadcast. And then we go, are you
Bye,
sure you want to end?
everyone.